Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Ask Mary Anything Within Reason. I'm late. Very sorry about that. But we just wrapped up a meeting, a book club, a band book club meeting. It was awesome. We talked about Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye, which I highly recommend, but it's a tough one. It is a difficult read, so be forewarned, but Toni Morrison is a quintessentially important American author, and everybody should read everything she wrote, pretty much. Okay, let us do what we're here for. I'm going to ask your questions. No, I'm not. I'm going to answer them within reason. Okay. It feels like Friday. That's never a good sign on a Sunday. So you're going to have to check in for tomorrow's live to see how I'm doing. All right. Phoebe, thank you so very much, Phoebe. That's a contribution to the Kitty Treat Fund. That fund, I'm telling you, Mary Trump Media Travel Kitten is going to have so many treats. I'm going to have to get her a treadmill just to be on, because I want Travel Kitten to be healthy. And with all those treats, they will be healthy treats, but, too much of a good thing. Jenna, question. Are you a little surprised Alaska's still part of the U.S. as far as we know? Or will the trade for magic beans come out later? An excellent question. As far as I'm aware, the people of Alaska are still relatively free. They're not under the sway of a Russian autocratic fascist, dictator, mass murderer. That'd just be us. That's the rest of us, except switch out Russian for American. Yeah, I am very worried about the fallout from this disastrous meeting between Donald and Putin. I knew it was going to be bad, and wow, I was right. I don't like being right. I don't like being right about things like that. But it was inevitable, quite frankly. I mean, did we seriously think that Donald, who was one, an idiot, and two, completely beholden to Vladimir Putin, was going to stand firm? No. So we'll see. As you may know, tomorrow, President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, and leaders of EU countries are going to the White House to meet with Donald. But again, it's worrisome because Donald seems to have completely changed his tune since meeting with Putin. And again, I think that the whole point of it was for Putin to tell Donald what Donald needs to say and do from here on in, and then blame Ukraine if Ukraine refuses to accept a quote unquote peace deal that is greatly to the disadvantage of the Ukrainian people. By the way, as a reminder, Ukraine was invaded illegally by a hostile foreign power, Russia, and should get everything it wants. Russia should get nothing, and Putin should be sent to the Hague in leg irons and an orange jumpsuit, along with Donald. Yeah, we're going to find out about those magic beans tomorrow, that's for sure. Stripey 1977. Question. With the orange baboon's thoughts on the census, does he know it can't be opened for 72 years? I'm not sure what can't be opened. I apologize. I'm not sure what can't be opened. All I know about the census is that it is supposed to be a census every 10 years. And we are not due for another census for another 5 years, but they want to, they want another census. By the way, we're having a very bad thunder and lightning storm here. So just if I disappear, it's probably not the NSA. Okay, so they want to do a new census in advance of that because they want to change the terms of the census. The census is for everybody in America. Everybody. They want this I could call it a midterm census to take into account only American citizens, which would vastly change the ways in which people are represented and the people represented. So, okay, so sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying. Um, Individual census records are not released to the public for 72 years after the census is taken. That's the 72-year rule. I don't know why though. But we can find out because that's what we do here. But it's a very good question. So thank you, Stripey 1977. Jimmy. You just blow my mind sometimes, Jimmy. That is just phenomenal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is more generous than I have words to describe. So, thank you. Just amazing. Oh, just to like be more clear. It's about protecting privacy because it's individual census data, not obviously we have the overall data. That's how we make decisions about representation and how many districts, et cetera, how districts are drawn. So, 72 years, that's, I guess, I mean, again, I don't know when that rule was set, but it probably has to do with lifespan and the idea that 72 years in the future, the person whose data was collected would not be around anymore. So therefore, there would be no privacy violations. Robert, hi, everyone. Canada's in the house and the joints rolled. Let's go. Hi, blue people. Hello. I don't know I don't know if you're talking about an actual joint, in which case enjoy, but I myself do not partake. I will only say elbows up, although it might be harder to have your elbows up if you're high. I don't know. But I think Canadians can do anything they set their minds to, quite frankly. Yeah. That the same used to be true of Americans. So let's take a page out of Canada's book, shall we? Phoebe, thank you very, very much. That's great. Hi, Mary. Hello. My friends and I have all read your books and are huge fans. Oh, that's very kind of you. Add them. Question: do you have any upcoming book signings? I've had 3 book signings, which is sad considering I've written 3 books, but the first 2 came out during COVID. Yeah, I doubt it, but I'm hoping to start doing more speaking gigs. So obviously, when and if that happens, I will keep you all posted. Oh, actually, no, I've had 5 book signings. But 2 of them were not in the United States. So whatever. But yeah, I love it. I mean, it's just it's so great to get to meet people, and I've had very, 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 very few opportunities to do that. So I'm trying to figure out how, as you can imagine, some venues, how do I put it? Some organizations are absolute cowards. That's how I'm going to put it. But yeah, if anything like that happens, you all will be the first to know. Diane, thank you so very much. Kitten fee. Awesome. Question: how are your kitties going? They're great. Lyndon, who is almost 14, and Cap, who is 4.5, actually almost 5 now, are doing very well. But again, I've been traveling a lot, and the last time they were at the vet, Both of them, I was told both of them needed to lose a little weight. Lyndon has done so. I think Cap has put on Lyndon's weight. So I'm a little afraid to bring them back to the bed. Actually, I think Lyndon's lost too much weight. So Lyndon needs to go back to the bed first. Cap needs the aforementioned treadmill. Thank you for asking. They are awesome. Phoebe, comment. I started the citizenship process to Canada and it's a lot, but hoping it's worth it. It's worth it. Yes, I'm trying, I'm actually not trying that hard, but I have it in mind that I'd like to get a UK passport. I don't plan on going anywhere. Doesn't mean we shouldn't be prepared and careful. So I think that's a really good idea. KM Nancy 965. Comment. Mary, loved your book. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Question. Do you ever get back to the Cape to go sailing? I have, unfortunately, we used to go to the Cape like every year. And unfortunately, I have not been. We've not been in the last couple of years. And no, I haven't sailed in a few years. Because I was not up there enough to justify, well, not even to justify, owning a sailboat is quite an endeavor. So especially if you're only up there a week or two at a time. I miss it terribly though. Actually though, on the Hudson River in Battery City Park, there is a sailing school. You can rent sailboats. So I'm thinking of doing that. I don't need lessons, but I would love to go rent a sailboat and sail on the Hudson. However, I am partial to sailing on Cape Cod Bay, which is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. So someday. Thank you for asking. I miss sailing. Sailing was one of my favorite things to do. Cindy, thank you as always. Gifted 1 Mary Trump Media membership. That's fabulous. Kendra, one of our super stickers. Thank you as always, Kendra. Michael, thank you very, very much. Comment. See red states wasting money sending National Guard to DC. It is appalling. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I don't know if you all heard, but Ohio is sending something like 150 National Guardsmen to DC to help with the fictional crime. Texas probably, because of course, other red states, because it's like a competition to see who could be the most sycophantic and grotesque and fascistic. So, we live in very troubling times, because on the one hand, I don't want to be the kind of person who is just, cheering on things getting worse so people can suffer more and come to their senses. I don't want to be that person. On the other hand, I think, well, what are you guys going to do if, I don't know what kind of natural disasters happen in Ohio, actually, but I don't know. Let's say there's some horrible industrial accident or something. I don't know. Something that requires the kind of help that often is needed in the wake of a hurricane or a tornado or an earthquake or a mudslide or a wildfire. The National Guard is to help Americans, not police them. So first of all, National Guards people aren't doing their job. They are not carrying out the mission they signed up for. Secondly, they are leaving the states they signed up to serve, unserved. So seriously, what if there's some, a hurricane in Texas? Oh, sorry, our National Guard is lounging around the Washington Monument arresting people for fair jumping, turnstile jumping, or driving without a seatbelt. Looking at you, Mark Wayne Mullen. Like, seriously, who is standing in for the National Guard in these states? And we know from LA that National Guardsmen were very, very unhappy being told that their new job is to police American citizens, not help them. It's really bad. And yeah, think about, that's the worst thing. But yes, How many tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars do these deployments cost us? I don't care what Republicans tell you. This is not what anybody voted for. Sage of suffering. Question. What kind of animal would you be if you could shapeshift? Cat. I had to think about that long and hard. Yeah, as you all know, I love all animals. I do. But I am a cat person. I don't know. They get me. I love dogs. Seriously, I love all animals. If I could, like one of my goals in life would be to have an animal rescue place that rescues all kinds of animals. I think it should be illegal to sell animals in pet stores. It should be illegal, I know that they're not animals, but birds should not be allowed to be pets. There shouldn't be zoos. I would want to rescue all of the animals. But we're talking about shape-shifting. I want to be a cat. I just would be. I don't even think that it's a question. It's like my default. Motley Pizer, question. If Donald crash landed his airplane on a deserted island and there were only a few survivors. Motley Pizer, are you trying to get me in trouble? I'm going to try again. How do you think Donald would survive, or would he start a race right on the island? Okay, so the island is uninhabited. Chances are the people with him are all white. So I would just be worried about who's being used to provide his nutrition. See? You got me in trouble. Hypothetically, obviously, this will never happen. Anna, thank you so very, very much. Gifted 5 Mary Trump Media memberships. That is fantastic. Donna, it's excellent to see you so soon. Hi, Mary. You are not a pest. Stop that. I just wanted to give you a Mary Trump comfort food fee. Oh, thank you. You totally deserve one for all that you do for us. That's extraordinarily kind of you, Donna. And I don't deserve that, but I truly, truly appreciate it. And now I just have to think what kind of comfort food I want. Actually, it doesn't go for comfort food, but I can pretend. Yeah, I like food, comfort food. Actually, I think my comfort food is pasta. So maybe I'll have some pasta later. That would be awesome. Mida Cheryl, as always, thank you so much. Gifted 1 Mary Trump Media membership. Fabulous. Ethan, hey. And thank you, as always. Gifted 5 Mary Trump Media memberships. That is just fantastic. Sage of Suffering, hello again. Question. If you could only eat one type of food for the rest of forever, what would it be? The aforementioned pasta. I mean, I won't. Nobody should, unless you're in Italy walking 15 miles a day, which is very easy to do in Italy. Nobody should eat pasta every day, but I eat absolutely. Seriously? Spaghetti or capellini, sometimes penne, just a pomodoro or margherita sauce, and freshly grated Parmesan cheese. That's all I need. Oh, and like a couple of gallons of water a day as well. Because otherwise, yeah, I'd get really dehydrated very quickly. And I would have to walk that 50 miles a day. Ghost Layer 59, thank you so much. As always, Most excellent of it. Question. Truly, an Ask Mary Anything question. B. Hi, Mary. I know you're passionate about art and culture. Yes. Do you have any tattoos? Surely there's a Star Trek one. No, I do not. Um, if I did, hmm, I don't, well, it's just, they're not my thing. So, like, I've never thought, oh, if I got a tattoo, what would it be? I would not be averse to having like a little communicator or something, or tribble, a tribble. Although, like, tribbles are hard to identify. I'm guessing a tribble tattoo would be a bit challenging. Um, but my daughter has actually beautiful, beautiful tattoos. Didn't get that impulse for me though. Interesting question. Again, I have no intention of ever getting one, but now I'm gonna think about if I did get a tattoo, what would it be? Oh, by the way, I don't know if all of you know this, but I was at Star Trek Las Vegas. I was on a panel. It was awesome. Awesome. I was on a panel with, among others, Mary McDonnell of Battlestar Galactica, Ronald D. Moore, who developed Battlestar Galactica 2.0, and For All Mankind. Also Outlander, but not science fiction, so kind of an outlier. And my former, soon to be future podcast co host, the awesome Bob Seska. Yep, Trek Politics is coming back. So, why am I telling you this? Because, well, one, I'm excited about Trek Politics, and I was so excited to see Bob. We'd never met in person before. We've been friends for 4 years. Mary McDonnell is an awesome, awesome human being, and seeing her was just incredible. And Ronald Moore. Oh my God, I forgot Tim Russ. Tim Russ. Bob and I had him on the show a couple of years ago. I've been wanting to meet him for years. I got to meet him and his partner. They are phenomenal people. So smart, so engaged. Same thing with Ron. And I mean, seriously, Star Trek people walk the walk. It was incredible to meet everybody. Yeah, what a panel, right? I'm like, what am I doing here? Anyway, I was happy to be there, but still. Oh, right. I bought a communicator. You know how they work. It works too. No, it doesn't. But somebody should get on that because that would be so cool. Greg, question. What do you think happened in the meeting with Putin that freaked Donald and his handlers out so badly they called off the summit early? I don't think Donald got freaked out. I think Donald just, had his leash yanked. And this is actually a real sir story. Said, "Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Whatever you want, sir." And because there was no deal to be had, and there was no pushback from Donald, his team was probably like, holy shit, how do we spin this? And imagine if they spent 3 more hours together, how bad this could get. So yeah, they wanted to yank their toddler out of that very, very precarious situation. And we already know. Without even needing to read any transcripts, we already know what happened. Just how bad it is. And we knew it would be. Barbara, super sticker. Thank you so very much, Barbara. Mary, question. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary. Do you think Michael Cohen is still fixing for Donald? I don't know. I doubt it. Because, Michael Cohen's new grift is to be, on the right side of things. But again, we never would have heard a peep out of him if he'd gotten that White House job he wanted. So, Jennifer, thank you so, so very much. Sending a virtual puppy sticker. I love my Aussie puppy. I do too. Puppies are among my favorite creatures. They are adorable. Greg, thank you again. Retired airline? Oh, yeah. Retired airline pro here. Any jet lag tips? Ooh. Drink a lot of water on the plane. Again, I think it totally depends on what time of day you leave and what direction you're going. I've been traveling a lot, as you may know, and I've had very little trouble with jet lag. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing right, if anything. Drinking a lot of water, very helpful. And if you're flying late at night east, stay up. I never sleep on the plane if I can help it. If I can't help it, I sleep. But I try to. And then once you land, if you land like really, really early in the morning, and it's if you land at like 8 in the morning local time, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning where you come from, force yourself to stay awake until it's late enough so you get a normal night's sleep, and then you can. But I don't really have any tips other than hydrating, which is kind of my tip for everything. Donna, hello again. Question: am I wrong that we have been taken over by an illegal alien government? I'm not sure I understand the use of the term because as far as I'm aware, they're all of the major players in the government were born here. So clarify in the comments, and hopefully, sorry if I'm missing something obvious. I apologize. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's reference to. They should. I mean, they're illegal in the sense that they're all criminals and should be in prison. That's true. Metal Mark 12. Question: how much more erratic will Donald's behavior get as he feels more desperate? Some things are not quantifiable. Imagine the worst, and then imagine worse than that, and on and on and on in perpetuity. I think that's gonna be a t-shirt. Not that part. I've been saying this for a while though. With him, there's no such thing as worst. It will always get worse. So, how much more erratic? It will get as erratic as the people around him permit. Until somebody puts a stop to it, until somebody pulls the plug on this regime, or not the regime, until somebody just sidelines him or just what, I don't know. I mean, he will get as erratic and dangerous as you can imagine, and then some. I mean, I've been saying that since 2020, actually, but what are you gonna do? Douglas, question. Mary, do you think there's any way Ukraine comes out of these so-called peace negotiations without getting totally screwed by Donald and Vlad? Donald and Vlad will try to screw over the Ukrainian people over as much as they can, certainly. However, it depends, I believe, since there's no way the Republican Party is going to do anything. I think it depends entirely on the extent to which leaders of European Union countries come together and step up. That's what I think. And I hope that's what happens. I hope tomorrow is meant to be a show of unity. Not that Donald's going to care, but it doesn't matter if he cares or not. It matters that they are willing to step up and stand up for Ukraine in a way that we failed so miserably to do. Looking at you, Joe Biden. Susan, thank you so very, very much for that. Gifted 5 Marriage Trump Media memberships. That is awesome. Paul L. Question: when are you coming to Toronto, Mary? Would love to hear you speak here in a great city. I would love to. I would love to come to Toronto. That would be amazing. I was there when I was in college. We did a road trip from Tufts up to Toronto. It was really cool, and I got to speak really bad French. That part wasn't very cool at all, actually. But it's the only time, shockingly, it's the only time I've been to Canada. It's weird to me. So hey, I think I would love to make that happen. Like I said, if stuff like that shakes out, I will keep all of you posted. Zella, thank you as always for that question. Did Donald have a pet name, nickname when he was young that he hated? Or how about a what just happened? Um, or how about a lose of school games that likely still bug him? I don't know. School. I don't know really much about what he did in school. But my dad had a nickname for Donald that I thought was actually perfect. That he started calling him this when he was like 13 or 14. My father called Donald the Great I Am. I think that pretty much sums it up. As for other nicknames, I'm not aware, but obviously he only likes being called Donald. Actually, that's not true. Very few people, I mean, in the family, obviously, but outside of the family, like he probably hates it that I call him Donald. Like, what else am I supposed to call him? That's what I've called him my whole life. Like, nobody called him. My Aunt Marianne was Aunt Marianne. My dad was Uncle Freddie. And then it was Elizabeth, Donald, and Robert. That was it. That's what I call him. What am I? I'm sure he would love it if I called him something else, but that ain't ever happening. He prefers people to call him, well, at least before he was in the Oval Office, thanks to 74 million deeply misguided people, he preferred to be called Mr. Trump. Weirdo. Motley Pizer, again, question. Was there ever a film made about Donald Trump? If you were to make a film about Donald, what would it be called? Yeah, there was a film called The Apprentice that came out, I think, last year, 2 years ago, maybe. Not a fan. Historically inaccurate. The way my father was portrayed was hideous to me. And, it was inexcusable. And it was just the way just none of it tracked. It just wasn't, again, in my view, just simply because I knew the people that they made the film about, and oh well. I know people who really liked it, but I think they're coming at it from a different perspective. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I had problems with it. If I were to make a film about Donald, it would probably be called Too Much and Never Enough. Because coming up with titles is not my forte. And I came up with that one and I'm sticking with it. Mary is a new member. Thank you and welcome. It is great to have you here. Tracy, I was wondering why National Guard would follow orders to, yes, just stand around Washington, natural disasters, and how do they justify to themselves not helping? I don't know that they're justifying it, but they have to follow orders. I don't know that it's illegal to order a National Guards person to go to a different state and stand around. I don't think it is. If it were, they would be well within their rights not to follow that order. I don't think it is illegal. It's just deeply depraved and wrong. So we just have to hope that in the meantime, while states' National Guards are depleted, that nothing horrible happens that requires their help. Hey, Jude, thank you so very, very much. Oh, look, it's a kitty treadmill fund from Winston and Webster. Winston and Webster, thank you. You're amazing. Nanner, thank you very much. Comment. You used to say stand and fight. Today is move to Canada and think about a UK passport. What changed besides the obvious? Oh, nothing changed. I'm not going anywhere. I am staying and fighting. I think it would be ill-advised not to be prepared because I might, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we live in crazy times. Like I traveled abroad a couple of times, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to be let back into the country. That's insanity. I had to prepare for eventualities that I'm not looking for, but that are within the realm of possibility now, right? So, I'm not saying get a UK passport and stop being an American citizen. No, I would never do that. But I think I need to. I think I need to be. Let's put it this way: it may not be up to me. If it's up to me, I am not going anywhere. That's all. And listen, all of us are we're in different situations. Like Timothy Snyder, Jason Stanley, they're experts on authoritarianism. They both left the country and they got a lot of shit for it. And a lot of people judge them. We don't know what has gone on in their lives. We don't know what kind of threats they may have gotten. We don't know what kind of visits they may have gotten from the FBI or what have you. So, you know, I think everybody's situation is different. And also, we have to keep in mind one of the reasons, like, I mean, I'm not going anywhere because this is my home. And I believe that I'm most effective fighting against the fascism here by staying here. But just because you leave the country doesn't mean you tap out. Timothy Snyder and Jason Stanley, they're still doing great work. They're just safer because for whatever reasons, and I don't know, they deemed it unsafe for them to continue to be in the United States of America because those are the times in which we live. I may find myself in a similar situation. I don't know. So I don't want to be alarmist about it, but I think I have to be realistic. And but that doesn't mean just because I'm preparing for some eventualities that never come to pass does not at all mean that I'm leaving. I have no intention of leaving. I also do not judge anybody who does make that decision because how could I possibly? Donna, thank you so much. Again, here we go. Mary, that's what I was wondering. I thought maybe, but then I didn't want to go there because I wasn't sure. Mary, what I meant was a legal alien from outer space, our current regime. Well, maybe, but I don't think it's fair to malign aliens from outer space by suggesting that they would be as bad as the people of the Trump regime. I mean, we haven't even met them yet. And also that would kind of let us off the hook, wouldn't it? This country is, and the history of this country and a lot of the horrible people who've run this country in the past are directly responsible for the people in power right now. So, but thank you for clarifying. I appreciate it. Deanne, thank you very much. Super sticker. That's great. Dr. Paul Watson, thank you so very, very, very much for that comment. Okay, well, comment and question, thank you. That's extraordinarily kind. I'm going to jump right to your question if that's okay with you. What is your earliest memory of interacting with Donald? If you can stand sharing it, or if not, no problem. Yeah, I have no problem sharing stuff like that. My brother and older cousin and I used to go to my grandparents like every weekend to play soccer or baseball or catch, really, in the backyard. And whenever Donald was there, which was pretty frequently, we played catch. And one of my earliest, I couldn't have been more than 5 or 6. So we're playing catch we played with a hardball because he played baseball in high school. So that was kind of his sport. And soccer was my Uncle Rob's sport. So when Donald was there, we played catch with a hardball. And just because I was, I don't know, almost 20 years younger than he was, he felt absolutely no need to throw the ball to me gently. So he would throw to me as hard as he possibly could. Usually he missed because, not a great arm. But sometimes I actually caught the ball and it hurt. It hurt, even though, again, not a great athlete, still, when you have a 28-year-old or a 26-year-old man throwing a hard ball at a 6-year-old girl. So once I felt like every bone in my hand had broken, but I was fine. It just went numb for a little bit, and then I got better. Yeah. So that's like one of my first memories of him. It was fun hanging out with my family. Tony, I'm a disabled veteran. I can tell you troops are mocking him. First of all, Tony, appreciate what you've done, and I am not surprised by that. What surprises me is military people who support him. And maybe at some point you could shed some light on that, because he's been so vile, starting with my dad, by the way, to anybody in this country who served. That's always shocked me. Liberté, hi Mary. I'm about to prepare a banner to welcome the monster to the UK. Question: what would you like to see on our banners to have the greatest effect? Just repeat what a loser he is. He's such a loser. He's such a pathetic loser. Mock him mercilessly. Mock everything about him that you think he holds most dear. You guys are really good at that stuff, so I'm not worried. You've got it. Darren, hi Mary. Hello. Question: does Donald have any favorite book written by someone other than himself, and is it a coloring book? No. Donald does not read books. He reads articles in the newspaper that are about him. So, no. Yeah. I mean, just for perspective, or to put it in proper context, my grandparents had a room in their house called the library. And it's a room we hung out in mostly. It's where the TV was, and I don't know. So there are also built-in bookshelves, but there were no books. The first book on that bookshelf was Donald's ghost-written book, The Art of the Deal. No books. Oh, actually, my grandfather might have had a copy of Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking, which, if you want to ruin somebody's life, make them read that book. D-Bid, Kenna is in the house, elbows up high. Comment, Mary, you have already talked about this, but I'm late. Question: how's it going to go with Zelensky and EU leaders in DC tomorrow? Again, there's nothing good from Donald. Certainly, my hope is that the EU leaders are there to show their unwavering solidarity with Ukraine, our, a sovereign nation that is, whether people like Donald want to admit it or not, fighting to protect the future of Western liberal democracy, not just their own. So that's my hope. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everything you do to stay in this particular fight. It is Sunday, unbelievably enough. So I will be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern for Mary Trump Live. Remember, that's Monday through Friday. Every weeknight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Do not forget, we have videos dropping every single day, and YouTube is being a jerk. So please check out our pre-recorded videos, like them, share them, watch them. That would also be helpful. And comment on them. To everybody watching on YouTube, streaming on Twitter, and on my Substack, The Good in Us, everybody listening to the podcast, thank you so much. To everybody who's a new member, everybody gifting new memberships, everybody who's a super sticker, and everybody giving us donations. We could not do this without you, and we wouldn't, actually. So thank you so much for that. Also, just easy way to support us, subscribe. That would be extremely helpful. Doesn't cost anything. Subscribing to the channel just gives you access to all of our public content on our YouTube page. And as I said, watch the other videos and like them, share them, and comment on them. To our excellent moderators, thanks for everything you do. And on Sundays, I get to thank my team of one. I mean, my team is phenomenal. But tonight, my team is Lexi. So Lex, thanks so much for being here, helping out with book club. It has been awesome. So we will be back at it tomorrow. Everybody, please go kick back, take the rest of the night, and we will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, please stay safe and be kind. Bye.